It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to get together, and I'm excited to talk to you about something that I think has really stemmed from the last series that we did together on being content. Being content doesn't mean we shouldn't be driven, but there are so many leaders out there that are looking for more before they finish what they have been given. So in order to actually get to that next level, we need to first guard the treasure, or 1 Timothy 1:14 in some versions will say guard the deposit entrusted to you. As leaders, we need to guard that treasure. But we can't guard it without the help of God, without the help of the Holy Spirit. And what's interesting is that we get so consumed with the next thing that we forget about that treasure that is in front of us. We forget about the reason we were called to lead, and that was to take care of what we had. If you don't believe me, one of the things that I thought was very, very interesting in light of this conversation is just looking at marriage. Marriage is really a testimony of the fact that we are all called to lead. And in marriages, if you look at these statistics there, that it's mind-boggling. First of all marriages, 41% of all marriages fail. But the number one reason that marriages fail is because of contentment. It's not because of money anymore, and it's not because of infidelity, which that's number two. The number one, 75 or 72% of them it's because of contentment. They're not content with what they've been given. And the reason we don't remain content with what we've been given is because we look on to the next thing, or what may appear to be better, before we take care of what's in front of us. If we would just take care of what's in front of us, we would see the value that is there. But for whatever reason, we struggle with this. We struggle with this because ultimately we care more about maybe getting rich quick, or whatever the case might be, or just being happy and not being fulfilled with the happiness that is right in front of us. We're always looking for the next thing. But here's what I thought was very, very interesting, is that as people get remarried, the percentage of the divorce goes up, and quite a bit. And the reason is because ultimately they're just never truly content with guarding the treasure that has been entrusted to them. So I'm going to talk about three specific things in light of guarding the treasure that has been entrusted to you. Number one is we are to guard. What does guard mean? It means to keep secure from danger or against attack. We're to protect, watch over, abstain from. What do you mean by that? Well, we are to protect what has been given to us. See, in the ministry that I'm a part of right now, I've been given a specific role to raise funds. Now, I need to not only be a protector of those funds, or a good steward of those funds, but I also need to protect the people that has been placed in the roles that they are in serving us. I need to protect them so that they can do their jobs better. I need to watch over what I have been given. I need to not only protect, but I need to watch over. I need to look at the signs of the things that are maybe going to cause issues or conflicts, and I also need to be a good listener through that. So I need to watch over what has been given to me, and then I need to abstain from that which isn't yours. Meaning, it's important that as I am guarding things, that I don't move away from my responsibilities into other people's responsibilities, or I don't get consumed with things that could keep me from protecting the responsibility that's in front of me. I think a great example of this, for me, one of the things I abstain from is alcohol. And the reason why is because I want to be of clear mind all of the time. Does it mean that if I have a drink of alcohol that I won't be of clear mind? I don't know that, but I don't really want to take a chance of that. So for me personally, my conviction is I abstain from that because I want to guard the deposit that's entrusted to me. It's not just the department I'm leading that I want to protect, but it's my family. I want to protect them. And I've seen too many bad things happen when in regards to alcohol, that I have made a decision for me personally that I'm going to abstain from that. Why? Because for me, guarding that deposit that's entrusted to me is that important. So what is that deposit? Well, sometimes that deposit is this treasure. This treasure. Everything we are given to lead is our treasure. I think there's something we need to understand though. Treasure in leadership is not what we make, but what we take care of. Did you hear what I said there? Treasure in leadership is not what we make. It's not how much money we make, but it's what we do in taking care of the treasure that is in front of us. Now, if we do a good job, God will bless us and He will give us the things we need, and we need to have goals and we need to be driven, and we may make a lot of money, but there's no promise in that we're going to make a lot of money, because ultimately that's not the treasure that is important here. The treasure that is important is the people or the facilities or the equipment or the department that we are leading. That's the treasure. So let's not get confused with the idea of what treasure looks like, because reality is treasure is the thing that we've been given to resource, to be good stewards with, to take care of. And the third thing I want to talk about is you. Whatever is on your plate is your responsibility. Do you realize that? If you have children, guess what? That is your responsibility. I thought that this was pretty interesting. I just heard this from our youth ministries director. He said that young people relate to their grandparents better than they do their parents. But what he didn't say, and which I have been noticing as I've been working with students within the school and when I was pastoring the church, is that the reason that probably is the case is because parents aren't the ones taking care of their children anymore. It's the grandparents. No wonder children relate to their grandparents more than they do their parents. But understand something, parents. The deposit or the treasure that was entrusted to you, that is your responsibility, is what? Is your children. But not only that, your wife, your responsibility. That husbands, it's your wife. Wives, it's your husband. As leaders within your home, we are to take care of the responsibility that is there. If we can't take care of the responsibility that is there within our homes, we will never lead appropriately in the other responsibilities and treasures that have been given to us. A thing that we also need to understand within this is that we need to stay in our lane. I actually did a full episode on staying in your lane, episode number 4. I would encourage you to go back and listen to that. But understand something. We're responsible for our treasure. Now, we may have influence on other people's treasures, but we are not to manipulate that, or we're not supposed to lead that unless that's been given to us. So it's important for us to steward the responsibility that has been given to us first and foremost. Same thing within our marriages, just like we talked about. It's not our job to hand our children off to our grandparents and expect them to be the ones to lead them. It's not our responsibility to hand them to the Christian school or to the church or to the youth pastor. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to take care of the treasure that's been handed to us. And then finally, we are leading what we are intended to lead. Are you leading what you were intended to lead? I think what's interesting is that a great testimony of this is a story from my wife. My wife this last week. She has a young lady that is working for her, and that young lady was given and offered another job. And the other job is not as hard of work, to be frank. My wife's in charge of housekeeping. Housekeeping is probably the hardest job within our organization. They are constantly having to stay on top of cleaning. They're making beds or lifting things, all those types of things. And I thought for sure she would probably take that job because it was an easier job. But you know what? She decided not to take that job. Now, I don't know the full reason as to why she didn't take that job, but I have an idea why. My wife is a great leader because she invests in the treasure that's in front of her. And people want to work for her. In fact, she had these ninth grade girls from the year before, summer before. They never could get girls to sign up for housekeeping. But she actually had girls sign up for housekeeping because they wanted to work with her again. Why? Because she guarded the treasure that was in front of them. And when that happens, it doesn't matter how hard the work is. What matters is that there's relationships that are growing because of the work that's involved in there. So it's so important for us to understand that leading is about guarding. It's about guarding what has been given to us. And you want to know how you're going to get more? God will give you more to lead when you take care of the thing he gave you to take care of in the first place. He's not going to give you more than you can handle. But if you can't even handle taking care of the responsibility within your home, what makes you think he's going to give you enough responsibility in your workplace? So here's my final thought. Leaders, if you take care of the treasure that has been given to you, that treasure will take care of you. Let me say it one more time. Leaders, if you take care of the treasure that has been given to you, that treasure will take care of you. I hope this episode really encourages you. It is something that the Lord laid on my heart this morning in my prayer walk. And I know it will be a blessing because it's already been a blessing to me. It's been some great reminders that I just need to take care of what's been entrusted to me first. Then when more comes, I'll be ready for it. This is Chip Nightingale, and yes, you can lead.